Ever wondered how computer thinks? How do they take the words and turn them into actions? The answer lies in the programming language like Python. But how does Python actually communicate with your machines? Let's find out. Hi guys, from this video we are starting a new series, Python programming. So you guys can join live online classes also, the link in the description of the video, or either you can watch this recorded video. So Python batch is totally free, there is no fees, you guys can just learn it. So to join a Python batch, you can join the WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group link we have in the description of the video. So before starting a Python programming, we should know what is the programming language and why we require the programming language. So what are the languages to communicate with the human is Hindi, English, Punjabi, French, Italian, Russian, Chinese, all are the language, right? Similar to that, if you need to communicate with any electrical device, every electrical device has their own language. Like if you need to be the on and off any bulb, then we need to be on and off is the language, means either on or either off, the two state of the bulb we have. Similarly, TV has a number of the functionality. If you wanted to communicate with the TV, means what you wanted to do with the TV, you wanted to on, off, play something, volume up, volume down, if you wanted to do, we have the language for the TV. Similar to other electronic device, computer has its own language also. So if you wanted to give some work to the computer, we need to tell something to the computer also, and computer can understand the machine language only. Now what is the machine language? The machine language is 0 and 1 form. So everything whatever the computer can understand, they are understanding in the 0 and 1 form. That is called binary language, right? But we are communicating in English language. How we will actually tell to the computer, now you need to do something. So to communicate between the machine and the human, means English language, we have one intermediate language that is called programming language. So we will write down some program and tell to the computer, you need to do this one. Means we are giving instructions to the computer, kindly do this one. These instructions later on will be converted into machine language only. So what is the language used by computer is? The language used by computer is called machine language. What number system does the machine language use is binary number system. 0 or 1 is the binary number system we have. What does binary code represent? 0 and 1 form is the binary code represent. So computer only understands 0 and 1. So whatever if I write down actually 5 number, behind the scene it will be have the one binary number 100 something or 11 something. We have the number. These machine level language we called as low level language. Okay, because these languages easily human cannot understand. To understand, we required actually a programming language. So we write down the program in English kind of language, not English but English kind of language, but that is actually we call a programming language. So programming language we divide into the two types, low level language and high level language. Low level language is the machine level language or assembly language. Okay, that directly communicate with the hardware. Okay, so hierarchy of the computer language is computing device. On the computing device we are writing down our code, that will actually convert into later on the machine level language, and machine level language is nothing the binary code only. Hierarchy programming language means we need to give set of instruction, means we need to follow some procedure. We will maintain the structure approach to problem solving. So whatever the problem we wanted to be solved it, according to that we need to write down some procedure. We should be having between them a software that will convert the procedure or whatever the instruction we wrote down in the programming language. In a machine level we required a software or application. That software or application we called a compiler or interpreter. So what is the difference between low level language and high level languages? Low level language is very difficult to learn, very complex programming language, and it's have the binary instruction only. But if the high level language is easy to learn, simplified programming, okay, and English like a syntax also. So language is also similar to that, but we need to write down the set of instructions. Means if we wanted to print something, we need to write down print code. If we wanted to open a file, we need to write down the opening file related code. If you wanted to connect some database, then we need to write down the source code related to connect to the database also. So these are the way we will write down the source code that is in the high level language, that will convert into the machine level language with the help of compiler or interpreter. So here we can see program execution process. We are writing down in source code in a high level language like Java, Python, any language also. Compile programs. Compilation means type checking, and who will compile? The compiler will be compile the language. Okay, so language conversion in the programming language like the English, easier to learn. So for it is very easy to learn the natural language, high level language, and the machine level language. So natural language we know, and we are writing down the source code in the high level language, that is the Python, Java, C++, C#, all are the high level language. and that will convert into the machine level language. So another thing is high level language is also we have 2-3 type of language like general purpose language. General purpose language means From this language we can actually develop almost all the application, like web application, like Windows, mobile, all the services also we can make it. So these all are the general purpose language. Some language have some special purpose language. Special purpose language means that language we can develop like the mobile applications, like the scripting, like JavaScript is only for the web scripting. Another thing is we have the scripting language also. Scripting means that directly run it, don't require to compile it. With the help of the interpreter, it directly will execute it also. That language actually we call it like VB script, JavaScript or PHP, all are the language actually that directly run on the browser. And who is the interceptor for actually them? Browser is the interceptor for these languages. Now these high level language like scripting, spatial or general purpose language, to convert these language into low level or the machine level language, we require a compiler, interceptor or the hybrid also. Okay, so compiler is translate the entire code at once, creating an executable file which can improve the performance but required separate compilation step. So compilation is always faster than the interpreter, but compile will be do the complete source code. Suppose we write down the 1000 line of code, it will compile all the code, it will check all the error checking, and it will compile and it will make the executable file. So generally this kind of program we cite into C and C++. Another one is code line by line at a runtime, allowing for the immediately execution and easier debugging, but maybe slow down the execution speed. But as we saw it, compiler has their own benefit and interpreter is also their own benefit. But nowadays we have the hybrid language. Hybrid means they have the both compiler and interpreter also. Compiler means actually it will compile the source code, complete source code, and it will check the error checking also. After that, once the compilation is done, it will create a one bytecode or an intermediate file. Okay. That intermediate file will be read by the interpreter. The interpreter won't check the error again. It will directly execute it. So translation of the high level language. High level language, we will write down the source code. Translation method means the compiler or interpreter that will convert into the machine level language. So programming language, we have the category that is called hybrid language. Hybrid language, that is all are the server side language, Python, Java, C#, use the both compilation and interpreter. Interpreter language is actually generally we have PHP, JavaScript used on the web, and the scripting. As I told you, just directly run it line by line. Definitely they will slow it also, right? And this is much faster. Let's see this one also. Understanding the compiler. What does a compiler do? A compiler convert the source code into the machine code. That we already saw it also. How often the translation done? One time only, right? The translation done only one time, because it will scan or read the complete file at a one time only. How many times can we run the machine code? After actually once it run it, once actually execution file is created or once bytecode is created, how many times exactly we can run it? You can run the machine code as many times as you want. So generally when we will create in C and C++ language, the code is actually converted into the executable file. That executable file we can run n number of times. So can we do the same thing in interpreter also? Let's see this one. What the interpreter will do? Read the source code line by line. First thing, okay? Translate the code into machine code. Okay, line by line only. So once you read it one line, then it will actually translate into the machine code. After that, they need to execute the code also to the translated machine only. The interpreter move to the next line and repeat the same process. It will read the one by one, right? So this process is actually, because if you have 1000 line, 1000 time we need to read, 1000 time we need to be converted into machine code also. So this is little slow actually as comparison to the compiler one. The process of the Python. So what we wrote down, source code, converted into the compiler code, that is actually executable file, but here we have the intermediate code, or that is called bytecode or magic code. As if you are aware about the Java, this is the same kind of thing we have, that is we call intermediate bytecode also. So this code even we can run on different operating system also. By this actually the Java, Python and C# will become the platform independent. So this code we don't need to be recompile it again. This code we can execute either on the Mac, Linux, any operating system we can run it. Obviously by this feature it will become the portability also. After that, the particular operating specific, we will get the interpreter that will translate from this code into interpreter, and finally it will give to the machine code, and machine according to that it will execute the program. So this thing generally we have in hybrid actually programming language. Okay, how JavaScript is working on browser? Let's see this one also. JavaScript execution context. JavaScript execution context is the basically browser is provided. So browser is giving us to runtime environment. Okay. Context for execution is the runtime environment. Easier to write and run it, that is with the help of interpreter language. Okay, and that is actually generally JavaScript we call language of the web also. So if it is one by one line is actually executing, so it will very slow down also. To overcome that has the JIT compiler. So what is JIT compiler now? Just in time compilation process. program initiated, whatever the source code we have, the program start execution process one by line. JIT compiler activation. So JIT compiler is just in time, means it does not have the compilation, just in time, runtime only. We know about it. Compiler means whole source code will be read. The compiler is the trigger to begin the translate. It will start the translating. Entire program translate. The compiler translate the entire program into machine code. Machine code is executed also. So this is the way savior of the JavaScript execution is the just in time. So mostly many programming language has nowadays the just in time. In Python bytecode compilation process, let's understand Python code, whatever the source code we are writing down, compilations, as we know, actually compilation will done similar to the Java. It will generate the bytecode. Okay, now where is this bytecode? Java bytecode we can see there is one class file is .class actually file is generated after once we compilation done. But where is the Python bytecode? If you guys work it, if you guys run it, did you see any bytecode generated by the Python? No, because Python, whatever the bytecode is generated, it generated at the runtime only, and it will hidden it also. So whatever the bytecode we have, what is temporary format on a file creation. So this file is actually on the file is creation, and at the time once the program is done, it automatically delete it also. That is the way the Python is actually generated bytecode behind the scene, and it will follow the hybrid, both the compilation and the interpreter also. Okay, the compilation and interpreter process the source code sent to the compiler for processing. Check the compiler error only one time, it will check. Compiler generate the bytecode, the interpreter translate the bytecode into the machine code. So this is the way actually Python code is executions, right? Now we have one more term that is called Python virtual machines. Now this Python interpreter is the part of Python virtual machines. Okay, now what is virtual machine is? So let's understand the Python virtual machine also. So original code what we wrote down by developer transform the source code into the bytecode that we know, intermediate code from the compilations that will generate it, convert bytecode into executable code that who will do by the PVM. PVM is the Python virtual machines. The interpreter is actually nothing, the Python virtual machine, that is we call the interpreter also, that will actually help out to the convert the code and provide the virtual machine environment also. Python bytecode whatever is created, that file is called actually .pvc, that is behind the scene, it is hidden also. So once program is done, actually bytecode actually removed from the system also. So now I hope you guys will understand. So Python programming language, what is high level language, what is the interceptor, compiler, hybrid also. So Python is very simple and powerful and portable language, but this is just beginning guys. So in the next episode we will learn about the programming methodology. After that we will start the Python installations and writing your first program. Okay, so thanks for watching the video guys. See you in the next video. Till the time, happy coding.